I can open an app, type one sentence, and 30 seconds later I have a finished, fully arranged song. Drums, bass, horns, all of it. That fast. And I want to tell you why that speed is the easy part. Why it was never the hard part at all. Because last month I made an ad, and the music almost broke it. Not because I couldn't make music fast enough. Fast was never the problem I needed to solve. So here's the setup. Last month I built an ad for a watch brand that doesn't exist. I made the brand up. I made the watch up. The man wearing the watch was generated by an AI model. I've talked about that project before. But there's a part of it I never talked about. The part I actually cared about the most, the music. And I'm telling you this story today because it taught me something about AI tools that I can't stop thinking about. Something about the gap between what these tools do and what they can't do. Stick with me because the thing that saved this ad wasn't a tool at all. It was something I'd been building for 35 years without knowing I'd ever need it for this. Let me take you into the actual process. The tool I used for the music is called Suno. If you don't know it, it generates music from a text prompt, and it's genuinely incredible. I describe a style, I hit generate, and about a minute later I have a complete professional sounding track. So you'd think the music would be the fastest part of making this ad. It was the slowest, and here's why. I'd generate a track and it would be good, polished, professional, and completely wrong for what I was making. I tried a bolero first. I thought the ad wanted something slow and smoldering. What I got was just slow. It sat there. It didn't go anywhere. So I tried the opposite end, a Bond-style theme. The ad has a man, a little mystery, a certain kind of cool, so on paper it made sense. But it felt borrowed, like I'd reached into someone else's movie and taken something that wasn't mine to take. Then I went down the Latin road, salsa, Latin jazz, swing with a cha-cha rhythm underneath it. One of them, a style called son montuno, actually came close. It had the right energy, but it moved too fast. It kept resolving the tension before I wanted it resolved. 7 different genres. I lost count of how many versions I generated somewhere in the middle. And then I heard it, a Latin swing big band ballad. The piano came in first, and I knew almost immediately. It had this calm confidence to it, not rushed, not trying too hard. It matched the man, it matched the mood. It did everything I needed in the opening of the ad. After all that searching, I finally had my track. And then I realized I was only halfway done. Here's the part I really want you to understand, because this is where the actual work was. The ad has 2 halves, and they're not supposed to feel the same. The first half is the man moving through his workday. There's a question hanging over it, a little tension, a little mystery. You're watching him, you don't know quite where this is going yet. Then he meets her. The second half happens on a river walk, and everything opens up. The mystery turns into something warm. The whole feeling lifts. I needed you to see that shift, but more than that, I needed you to feel it. And I had one song to carry both of those feelings. So I did what any musician does when one take won't give you everything you need. I stopped treating the track like something finished, and I started treating it like a raw material. I took the part of the song that features the piano, the middle stretch right before the chorus for the first half of the ad. That's where the suspense lives. Then I jumped ahead to a later section of the same song for the ending, where the music finally blooms and resolves. And here's the craft of it. I didn't just cut those 2 pieces together and hope. A song repeats itself. It has patterns that come back around. So I found a musical phrase in the early part of the track, and I found that same phrase again later on, and I lined them up. Same pattern, just further down the road, already on its way to the ending. That's where I made the cut, right on the seam where the music was already repeating itself. So the 2 halves flow into each other, and you never hear the join. And I didn't end on a hard stop. I let it fade out. Because the ad ends, but the moment shouldn't. The fade tells you the dancing keeps going after the screen goes dark. Then, and only then, I went back to the visuals. And I cut the picture to land on the music, not the other way around. The track was the framework. Everything you see was built to fit what you hear. So here's what I keep coming back to. Suno made that music in seconds, and anyone with an account could have generated the exact same track I did. The tool isn't rare anymore. The tool is everywhere. Everybody has the same one. But the tool couldn't tell me the ad needed 2 movements. It couldn't hear that the first half had to feel like a held breath. It couldn't feel the exact moment that breath should release. It couldn't find the pattern to cut on. It couldn't decide on the fade. I could, and not because I'm special, but because I started piano lessons when I was 6 years old, and I've spent more than 3 decades since then behind a drum kit and standing in front of a band, learning in my body what music actually does to a room, watching a dance floor fill up or empty out depending on what the band does next. That part didn't come from a tool. That came from the work, 35 years of it. The machine handed me the notes. Knowing what the notes needed to do, that part was mine, and that part is always going to be mine. So if you've ever wondered whether the years you've poured into getting good at something still count for anything in a world of one-click tools, here's your answer. They count for more than ever. They're not a sunk cost. They're the one thing the tool cannot hand to anybody else. They're the moat. If this resonated with you, subscribe. I put out a new video every week about creativity, AI, and building things on the side. And if you want the deeper version of this story, I wrote the whole thing up in my newsletter, Elliot's Keynotes. The link is in the description. One question before you go. What's the skill you've spent years quietly getting good at? The one you haven't figured out how to use yet? Tell me in the comments. I read every one of them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.